Morning, guys. December 16th, 2017. Gonna do a little question and answer, a little coffee chat type of thing. I get a lot of questions, continuous on different subjects, and sometimes I like to, just do a quick little video of this and hit on those subjects. This way here, the people that ask them all the time, if they watch the video, they get the answer. Because sometimes I just can't go and answer all the comments. It's just too many. So I kind of like to do a little question and answers like this coffee chat. It's Saturday morning and it's cold out. It's like 22 degrees. I just went and cleaned all the chicken coops. I do it every Saturday morning, clean all the coops. And when it's cold like this, the stuff is frozen chosen. I do have heat in the coops. I try to keep the coops above freezing, but the floors, it's cold out there, and everything just gets stuck. I'm over there with the scraper and the shovels trying to get the stuff out of there, put new shavings down. I try to, I got heat in all the coops, but it's still hard. But anyway, to the question and answers, hydronic heating systems, cast iron and copper. You cannot mix cast iron and copper fin tube on the same loop. The reason being is cast iron takes a little bit longer to heat up, but it holds the heat for a long time. And copper heats up quick and gives off the heat quick, the copper fin. So if you put copper fin and on the same loop that you got the cast iron radiators, the copper fin room will always be cold. It's just how it is. So if you're going to do that, you just run a separate loop. Say you're going to put copper fin in one or two rooms. You just run a separate loop for that copper fin off another thermostat with another circulator or a zone valve, and you're all set. This way it's regulated to that thermostat. But no, you cannot mix them. You get a lot of questions. Now you can mix cast iron baseboard and old-fashioned cast iron radiators. Yes, you can mix them because it's cast iron. It can stay together. I get another question lately. Is electric heat less money to run than oil? All right, this is the deal. Electric heat, I don't know, up my way, up on the northeast here, is the most expensive. Electric heat, electric hot water is the most expensive to heat with. Then it would drop down to probably propane gas, and then oil. Now, oil's cheap right now, so oil's not bad to heat with. And oil has been cheap for the longest time. That's why so many systems up here were put in with oil, because was the cheapest way to heat. Not so much now. The fluctuation of the oil sometimes will kick it off. The best way to heat your house is with natural gas. Natural gas with a gas boiler or a gas furnace. That's the most economical and the cleanest overall. Now, I'm not a big fan of propane, but in some areas they don't have natural gas. So it's either oil or propane. And most people have oil systems in. Now, people that already have the oil systems in, they're not going to rip the oil system out to go in and put propane in. It costs a lot of money to take that system out. So that's why they leave it, It's just more effective. Right now, oil's cheap. A couple of years ago, oil was like $3.50 a gallon. It was really bad. And then, propane might have been cheaper at that point. And a lot of people up here heat with them pellets. A lot of people do the pellets, but them are getting expensive too. That's another source of heat that I don't really deal with pellets. What else we got there? I gotta put my glasses on to read my list here. Okay. A lot of people ask me about stock in my truck. What's the deal with the stock in the truck? How do I restock my truck? Usually if I come across a job and I needed that part and run to the supply house, I try to stock that in my truck. So next time I go to a job, a no heat call or a plumbing job, I'll have that part on my truck. That's my main focus. That's why I have that big truck. The truck, is 14,000 pounds, which is over the 10,000 of most vehicles. 14,000. And I can carry a lot of stuff in there, and it's loaded. It's loaded right to the limit. So, I carry a lot of faucets, I carry a lot of controls, I carry a lot of parts that, like I said, if I ran across something, and I didn't have it in the truck, when I go to buy one, I'm going to buy two, so I have one next time. That's my motto. And I know more or less what's in the truck, and when I start to get low, I'll just write it on the list. The next time I'm at the supply house, I'll buy another one, like controls and stuff. I got 6 or 7, controls for oil and gas, and I stock one of them in the truck, one of those 6, and then as I use it, I put more in there. Circulators, same thing. You know, I have 2 or 3 circulators, one expansion tank, one water feeder type of thing, and then as I use it, next time I go to supply house, I restock it. My main focus is when I pull up on a job, I have what I need to fix the job most of the time. Can't always do it, but that's my main focus. So that's why how I stock my truck, why I have so much stuff in my truck. My poor kid, whenever I pass on to the other side, man, she's gonna have so much stuff to deal with. I mean, I got so much stuff in that truck and in my garage, and it's like it's just flipping crazy. But that's just me. I'm not too concerned about the money part of it because I've done well in my career over the years, and it's more or less of a convenience thing for me. That's why I stock the stuff. I'm not too concerned about what the stuff costs, and and I'll mark it up a little bit. If I pay $75 for the pot, I might get 85 or 95 for the pot. I try to make a little bit on it. I carry it around in my truck for months and months sometimes. Another thing I get asked a lot is the gas damper control on the smoke pipe. What does that do? Why do they always fail? All right. So on top of a boiler, you have a gas, you have a smoke pipe damper on the smoke pipe going out. And what that does, it adds another 1% efficiency to the boiler. So they're always trying to get better efficient boilers. And that damper control will shut off. Once the boiler shuts off, the damper will shut off, and it'll stop the draft, and it'll keep most of the heat in the boiler. So that's why they get another 1%. Now, if it's got a pilot light, there's a little plug that you have to leave out of that damper plate. There's a little plug that you plug in there. If it's got the pilot, you got to leave that plug out. If it's electronic spark, you can put that plug in, and it shuts off 100%. But with the pilot, there's a little, like a 1-inch hole that you would leave out, to let the fumes out. So that when you put them in, that you'll see it come in the control. That's when you would put it in or not put it in if there's a pilot or electronic spark. And them fail a lot. So what happens for a call for heat? There'll be 24 volts that comes out of the gas valve that go up to that damper control. The thing will open. Once it opens all the way, then there's an end switch in there, and it will send power back down and fire the boiler. And a lot of times they will fail over the years. I'll usually, you can put them on bypass, a little bypass switch on there, and I'll leave them open all the time. A lot of times I'll, just put them on bypass, leave them open, and just disconnect them and run it without it. Because, they're up there. They're a couple $100 for that thing, plus the labor. So sometimes, you got an older boiler that's, 20, 25 years old. Is it worth putting that pot back on it for that 1%? Probably not. So a lot of times I'll just bypass them. So that's one thing with the dampers. Now some of these questions I have answered in other videos, but these little videos sometimes help answer the questions for some of the new guys. So just bear with me, guys. Shock bite fittings. Do I use shock bite fittings? No, I do not use shock bite fittings. The only time I would use those is like a temporary water cap on a line stubbing out. Sometimes I'll use them on that, just temporary. That's the only time. I wouldn't put shock bite fittings in the wall. I wouldn't use them on a water heater. That's more of a homeowner thing. I've had shock bite fittings leak on me over time. It's just an O-ring in there. It's just an O-ring, and I have seen them leak. They'll definitely push off if you get a freeze or something. They'll push right off with a freeze up. I do not recommend using shock bite fins. Once you learn how to solder and you know how to solder, that's the best way. Copper pipe, solder it up properly, and then you'll never have a problem with it. The shock bite fittings are kind of like, it's just a cheesy, that's more of a homeowner thing. Someone that doesn't know how to solder and just trying to do it on their own, or, that's more or less what that's for. That's the Home Depot, Lowe's type of stuff. And a professional plumber wouldn't use shock bite fittings. No, it's just how it is. But yeah, hopefully I just answered some of those questions. Baby the dog's doing good. She's down under here, under the desk, laying down. I got her in flipping diapers again because the little bugger. I don't know why she does this, but where her bed is, she always kind of like pees where her bed is. I don't know. She's always done that ever since I've had her, because she came from an elderly lady, And she does that, so I had to put it black in the flipping diapers. She did good for a while, and then she's back peeing again. I don't know, not in the house, but just like where bed is, she'll pee in there, like to mark her scent. Very, very strange, very weird. So I had to put it back in diapers. You back in diapers? You want to say hello to the people? So here's the baby dog. You can see I got the little pads that, you know, I put them right in there, and I got a bunch of these. I got a bunch of these little diaper things for her. And I just changed the pads. I put them like them posy pads in there. So if she does decide to pee, she pees in the pad, right? And it saves you peeing all over the place. You little pisser. Yeah, quite the pisser. Yeah, everybody likes the baby dog. I mean, she's the star of the show, and she's a cutie pie. She loves going to work with me. Yeah, you gotta stop peeing in the pants. Huh? You gotta stop peeing in your pants. Oh, yeah, I know it. Yeah, oh, yeah. Anyway, guys, hopefully the diaper's a temporary thing for her, but, you know, she did good for a while there. When I first got her, she was letting it rip there. Not so much of the truck. I don't know. Just she's a different dog. She's a rescue dog. I got her. She was 7 years old, so I've had her now about a year and a half. So, but anyway, that's the thing. I just want to do a quick little question and answer video. Answer a couple of the questions that I've been getting, and hopefully, you know, hopefully that answers your questions. All right, guys, just Saturday morning here. Hopefully it's gonna, you know, around 12 o'clock. It's supposed to get above freezing. I mean, it's been the frozen chosen here. It is December, so the Northeast. So we are getting some snow. We got a couple inches last night. But anyway, all right, guys, have a good weekend, and more videos to come.